Moving on to the living room, you have your Wi-Fi. That seems to be a good spot for it, close enough to the window that it gets a good signal. TV, same operation. What you're working with is this little box. You know that it's in receiving signal, the Comcast box, when the green light is on. This TV takes a second, so when you turn it on, the green light will come on for it, but it takes a minute or so for whatever reason to actually come on. So give it a minute. You have your wall switch here. That again works the ceiling fan and the light, and it's this wall switch. Just like in the bedroom, you have a pull chain that turns the light on and off, and another pull chain that turns the fan on and off. This one's a little better because it comes through the glass globe. The other ones come off the side, so you have to be a little more careful with those. Again, I never keep it on the high setting because these fans are not great, so that they'll tend to be unstable. So I always go, all of the fans have 3 pulls, so the first one is high, the second one is medium, and I usually keep it on medium, and then the third one is slow. And then, of course, you pull it again and it's off. So I'll pull it once, twice, and it'll be on medium again, so that if you turn the light switch on over here, that the light will come on and the fan will be on medium. The chairs here are fine to sit on, but they feel a little unstable because they're also foldable. So you can pull the bottom up and fold them, get them out of your way if you want more room. But they seem fine, but they're, be careful with anything. Just assume that it's in good shape, other than if it feels wobbly or whatnot, let me know. In the air conditioner and hot water cabinet, you have a broom and a sponge mop. You have a battery operated vacuum cleaner. In this drawer here is the charger for it. So you plug it in here, and it'll change colors when it's fully charged. You'll see, I think it goes from red to blue. What else? We've got an attachment or two. And again, this is the main attachment to do the floors. This is an attachment to just get in corners and stuff. I have a step stool here. Be careful when you're pulling it out. There's not a lot of room, so you kind of have to angle it out. I have 3 air filters for changing those out. I just changed it out. Basically, once every 2 months, maybe 3 months, you change it out, and the air filter just drops in here. Before you do any work or changing out an air filter or whatnot, you have to turn the unit off, which I'll go over here, and you have to wait because it takes about a minute or so for it to stop running, just so it cools down. So here it is, temperature up, temperature down. Fan I always keep on auto, and then you can turn it to off, and it will take, you'll hear it continue to run for a little bit if it's running, and then when it finally comes off, then you can do any work on it. If it actually gets cold, sometimes it gets cold enough in here in the winter months, like January, that you want to put the heat on. You push it all the way over to heat, and then you can again just work it the same way, up or down. And so I've turned this to off. I'm going to show you how the filter drops in and out. And it's you would take these the mop and the broom out to get it out of your way. Take the handheld vacuum out. I keep a little whisk broom in here. As I said, it takes a minute or so. It runs for an extra minute or two just to cool things down. Or as you can see, the size of the filter is 20 by 20 by 1. As I said, I have 3 extras over here. Once the thing stops running, and not until you can pull this straight out, right? Like, and then when you're putting it back in, make sure you seat it all the way down so that it's sealed against the bottom here. Otherwise, it allows air to get past there. It'll clog the cooling coils, and it will be not as efficient or useful. When quarterly, I usually do this, but just in case you ever wind up having to, this just pops out nice and easy. It's better with this out, but it actually may be better with it in because the fins in there are very sharp, so be careful. You take this out. Down here, I keep the bottle of mixture, half water, half bleach. If you run out, if you use that and you run out, I always keep some bleach down here. So you would take half water, half bleach, and gently pour that whole thing down here. It'll sort of clean along there, and then it will go down this drain tube, which underneath runs down through there. And what that does is it keeps it from getting slimy in there, because if it gets slimy enough, it gets blocked, and then water overflows everywhere, and it makes a mess. After you maintain the filter, change the filter, or flush the drain there with bleach, make sure you turn it back on. I've done it many a time where I've forgotten and then had to come back to turn it on, or the apartment gets crazy hot. The hot water heater is down here. It's always dry in here unless the hot water heater fails, in which case you got to let me know, because it shouldn't. It should not fail for another 10 years. It's a brand new one, so, but just in case. And you can't add any more in there. That's as much as you can put in this cabinet, because otherwise you disrupt the airflow in here. If you use this for storage, it becomes a problem. So don't store anything in here other than the things that are already there. And this door sometimes comes off the track, but you just push this down and slide it back in, and it'll go right back on the track. Okay? Just push it down like that, and then let it slide back in. The ice maker works, although not terribly well. It gives you more like shaved ice than cubes. So you give it a moment or two, and ice shaving will come out. I prefer to use ice trays rather than use this, but it works, but I don't like it. That's what the cubes look like. Like I say, I prefer ice trays. I'm going to assume that you guys are going to be able to figure out the microwave, the toaster oven, the blender, and the coffee maker. If you have any trouble, let me know, or just Google it online. You can find the model numbers and whatnot. The dishwasher, right? You use this to open it up. Make sure you rinse your dishes before you put them in there. Otherwise, the drain down here will get clogged, and you'll get a mess all over the place. So give them a quick rinse before you put them in. When you're using it, my last tenant had trouble because the pods they were using were so soapy that it would overflow and you get water everywhere. I left this box of Calgon here and this scooper here. 1 scoop of Calgon. You stick it right in there. Close it up. Close it. Turn the latch back on to seal it. Then you've got the different settings. I don't much monkey with those, but I'll just go all the way over to start, and it will wash your dishes. It takes a long time. I got to be honest, I never used the thing because I'm a bachelor and it's just a couple of dishes and it's easier for me. But with the two of you guys, maybe it'll be useful. So, and again, like any shower or bath, you're going to turn your water on, get it to the temperature you want. And in order to use the shower, you just lift this. and then the water comes out the top. If it does that whining noise, it just means it's hit a harmonic in the valve, and so if you pull the valve a little bit or change the water pressure a little bit, it'll quiet right down. And it's the same stopper that's in the other one. The washer dryer, kind of self-explanatory. Here's the controls for the washer. Here's the controls for the dryer. Temperature setting and load size, again, are for the washer. The push to start for the dryer. My little note on there is be gentle with it. Don't slam the lid, and don't overload it. And if you hear an imbalance, you got to come running and sort of rejigger the clothes so that it doesn't beat itself to death. No big things like rugs or giant blankets or anything. You kind of have to deal with those separately. In the dryer, you have the screen in here that you have to clean every time between loads. Otherwise the thing doesn't work. So make sure to always clean the dryer lint, and then it goes right back in here. Right, so that's where it sits. For the dehumidifier, you turn it off before you empty it. If it gets full, it will turn itself off, at which point you'll see a red light. And so once it's off, you pull out this little reservoir. It's better to do it with two hands, but you pull out the little reservoir and empty it. And like I say, it will turn itself off if it gets full. And the intent is, not to drive every last drop of humidity out of the air, but to keep the moisture down. Otherwise, the air conditioner works harder, it costs more, and if it gets humid enough, you'll get mold. So here are your parking passes that the maintenance guy dropped off. So you should be good to go when by the time you guys move in or thereabouts. Michelle may be back. She's coming back on the 15th. I imagine she'll be back in the office on the, the 18th or the 19th, whatever the following Monday is. And you'll need to go see her, get parking passes, fill out whatever paperwork there is. I don't recall. It's been so long since I've done it. But you'll need to stop in and see her. All right, anything else, questions or whatnot, let me know. Here's your keys. As I mentioned to you, the door code is already programmed in. So all you have to do is enter the code and it'll let you in, and then you'll have the keys. There's one set for each bedroom that opens the bedroom door. I forget which is which, but you can figure that out. And then the one pool key. Oh yeah, and this is important. Next to the thermostat is the the circuit breaker. It's a good thing I just saw that. It reminded me. I always turn off the water heater if I'm going to be gone for extended periods of time. I'm going to turn it back on now. Everything should be on. If for some reason you have a blow a fuse or whatnot, this is the box to come to reset it. If you get continued problems, let me know, because then it's not just a blown fuse. Sometimes I've found that if you have too many things going at one time, it can blow a fuse. And also you've got, these are GFI breakers here that are by the water. So that's in order to make sure that they're safe by the water. Occasionally you'll get those that will trip if you use too many appliances at once, but and if you have trouble with that or need to know how to do that, just let me know. Last but not least, the door here, like I say, it goes through batteries quickly, so I don't always use it. It's programmed now, so it's easy to get you in. But you just slide this up, and you can pull this little battery set out, change the batteries, and then slide it right back in. and then you'll see it blink green just the way it did, and that lets you know that you're good to go. If it doesn't blink green, there's a problem. So I think that's it.